Hello, and welcome to this lecture on the central nervous system. My name is Laura McLeod, and I'm an instructor here at Ultimate Medical Academy. In this lecture, we will be covering the central nervous system as a whole, the divisions of the central nervous system, and what the functions of the central nervous system are. The central nervous system has three main functions. First, to communicate and coordinate within the body. This is done by receiving messages from stimuli all over the body, interpreting these messages within the brain, and then responding to those messages by carrying out activities. The second is that the brain is the seat of intellect and reasoning within the body itself. The third, it communicates effectively with the endocrine system when needed. The nervous system can be divided into three divisions. First, the central nervous system. Second, the peripheral nervous system. And third, the autonomic nervous system. The central nervous system consists of only the brain and spinal cord, whereas the peripheral nervous system consists of 12 pairs of cranial nerves and 31 pairs of spinal nerves that extend out from the spinal cord. The autonomic nervous system is actually part of the peripheral nervous system, and it includes peripheral nerves and ganglia, which the ganglia is a group of cell bodies outside the central nervous system that carry impulses to the involuntary muscles and glands. Now, the autonomic system is actually where we know it to be as the fight or flight area and has two divisions. There's the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. These two divisions may be antagonistic in their nature. The sympathetic system may accelerate the heartbeat in response to fear, whereas the parasympathetic slows it down. Normally, these two divisions are in balance. However, the activity of one or the other becomes dominant as dictated by the needs of the organism itself. A nerve cell or neuron transmits messages from one cell to the next. In this picture, you will see two different types of neurons, an efferent or motor neuron and an afferent or sensory neuron. Here you will see that these neurons have the same parts, but the structure is just a bit different because of the function that they do. Now, let's discuss the nervous tissue. Nervous tissue consists of two major types of nerve cells. The first is the neuroglia. This includes astrocytes, which transport nutrients to neurons and restrict what substances can enter the brain. This forms what is known as the blood-brain barrier. Then microglia. These remove cellular debris. Oligodendrocytes is the central nervous system structures that wrap around neuronal axons, forming the myelin sheath. Then there's Schwann cells, peripheral nervous system structures that wrap some neuronal axons to form the myelin sheath. The second is the neurons themselves. This includes the efferent or motor neurons that carry messages from the brain and spinal cord to the muscles and glands. Then the afferent or sensory neurons, which receive stimuli from receptor sites in the sensory organs. These sensory organs would be the skin, eyes, ears, nose, and taste buds. And then they carry these messages or impulses toward the spinal cord and brain. There's the associative neurons or interneurons that are specialized neurons that carry impulses from sensory neurons to motor neurons. These nerves carrying impulses creates electrical charges in the process, and this is actually known as membrane excitability. When speaking about neurons, we cannot exclude the synapse. The synapse is actually the area where the messages will go from one cell to the next. These messages will travel from the axon of one cell to the dendrite of another. However, they never actually touch. The space between the axon and dendrite is called the synaptic cleft, and the neurotransmitters are the chemical substances that make this all possible. Of course, as we age, our body changes, and because of this, there are some effects onto our nervous system. Some of these effects are the slowing of the nerve conduction, which means the messages don't go quite as quickly. There's loss of brain size. Yes, your brain actually does shrink a little. Slowing of a reaction time, meaning messages may get there, but the reaction or activity may take a little bit longer. There's changes in sleep patterns. A lot of us know that as we get older, you may not sleep as long, or you may get up earlier or go to bed earlier. It's important to continue physical and mental activity to stimulate nerve cells, blood flow, and neurotrophin production. You can do this by exercising regularly, not only your body, but your mind as well. I want to thank you for attending this lecture. If you have any further questions over this topic, please don't hesitate and reach out to your instructor.